31-year-old FedEx contract driver Tanner Lynn Horner is behind bars and is accused of kidnapping and killing 7-year-old Athena Strand, whose body was found 2 days after she was reported missing. Athena was last seen at around 5:40 p.m. on the 30th of November, while staying with her father and stepmother in the 200 block of County Road 3573 in Paradise, Texas. She was to return to her mother in Oklahoma around Christmas time. Athena's stepmother called the Wise County Sheriff's Office just after 6:30 p.m. to report her missing. She told investigators there was an argument, and later Athena was not in her room. Athena's father wasn't home at the time, as he was on his way to a deer hunting trip. The stepmother waited almost an hour to tell the authorities because she went looking for the girl first. The authorities and hundreds of volunteers spent the next 24 hours searching for Athena within a 5-kilometre radius, but they had no luck. On the night of the 2nd of December, Wise County Sheriff Lane Akin announced that earlier in the day, a suspect was located and taken into custody, and Athena's body was found in Boyd, roughly 10 miles from where she was abducted. According to Lane, the sheriff's office received a tip that the FedEx driver made a delivery to Athena's family home at around the same time she went missing. Investigators concluded that the driver, Tanner Horner of Fort Worth, kidnapped Athena from a driveway and killed her. Lane said that Tanner confessed to the killing, and that unspecified digital evidence and interviews indicated that the child was killed within an hour of being abducted. Lane said she was transported to the medical examiner's office, with a Texas Ranger riding in front of the vehicle taking a body, and another Ranger behind it. The suspect reportedly did not know Athena or her family. Tanner is charged with capital murder and aggravated kidnapping, and he's been held at the Wise County Jail on a $1.5 million bond. Athena's mother Maitland Gandy wrote in a Facebook post that Athena loved dressing up and wanted to be a Viking princess when she grew up. She said that she loves animals and all people. She loves jewelry and all things shiny. Her favourite fast food is McDonald's, and she would eat it 3 times a day every day if Mummy and Daddy allowed it, she said. Autopsy results are still pending. 2 women from Winchester, Kentucky are in custody and charged with the death of a toddler after the girl drowned. Authorities reported that on the 19th of November, 41-year-old Monica Goodwin and another family member, 44-year-old Erica Goodwin, were at home with Monica's 14-month-old daughter. The 2 went upstairs to one of the bedrooms in the house and left the child alone downstairs. Police said that the child was unsupervised long enough to climb into a hot tub that was inside the home and drown. First responders transported the girl to the Kentucky Children's Hospital in Lexington in a critical condition. The girl, identified as Hazel Vanessa Harrison, passed away on the 22nd of November. Upon investigation, the authorities said that the women admitted to regularly using meth and said they had left the child alone to go upstairs and get high. Deputies said they found drug paraphernalia and drug residue in the upstairs bedroom, backing up the women's statements. Monica and Erica were arrested on Monday the 28th of November. Both faced 1 count of manslaughter, and are each being held at the Clark County Detention Center on a $50,000 bond. Both women are scheduled to appear in court on the 5th of December. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is still ongoing. The funeral for Hazel was held on the 29th of November at the Grimson Martin Funeral Home. A young boy is behind bars and is accused of fatally shooting his mother in the face because she refused to buy him a virtual reality headset on Amazon. The shooting occurred at around 6:50 a.m. on the 21st of November in a duplex home located at 7488 North 87th Street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The following day, the boy went on to buy an Oculus virtual reality headset, which costs up to $500 on his stepmother's Amazon account, before telling his grandmother he was sorry for killing his mother and asked where his Amazon package was. The 44-year-old mother, identified as Kiana Mann, was shot at close range by her 10-year-old son Noah. The bullet entered her right eye and exited the back of her head through a skull, the authorities said. Noah initially told investigators that his mother woke him up at 6 a.m. and he retrieved a gun from her bedroom, went to the basement where she was doing laundry, and as he was twirling the gun around on his finger, it accidentally went off. After killing his mother, Noah went to the second-story bedroom to wake his 26-year-old sister Brianna. He discovered their mother was dead and called 911. Noah was allowed to stay with family after initial release from police, who said that the shooting was caused by the child playing with a gun. A day later, concerned relatives called the authorities. Noah's aunt said that when she collected the boy, he retrieved a set of house keys that contained a key to the gun's lockbox. When his aunt asked about the shooting, The boy said he pointed the gun at his mum, and that she told him to put it down. Noah's aunt and sister said he never cried or showed remorse, and he'd also physically attacked his 7-year-old cousin the same day. During later interviews with police, the boy admitted that he did not twirl the gun around when he shot his mother. He told detectives that his mother would not allow him to purchase something from Amazon that he wanted to have. He said he retrieved the gun because he was mad at her for waking him up at 6 a.m. when he usually sleeps until 6:30 a.m, and admitted to getting his mother's keys to a gun lockbox the night before. He said he aimed the gun at his mother with 2 hands while in a shooting stance. The boy said his mother walked in front of him when he tried to shoot the wall to scare her, and admitted that he shot her in the face when she was about 3 feet away. He then put the gun in the living room closet and woke his sister up. The boy admitted to knowing that guns are dangerous and can kill people. Relatives said that the boy hears imaginary voices and said that his 2 sisters told him to do it. Kiana had cameras set up around the house, but the cameras had been unplugged during the shooting. It's unclear who disabled the cameras. Relatives told investigators about the boy's history of disturbing behaviour, which includes an incident where he swung a puppy by its tail when he was 4. 6 months ago, he caused an explosion when he set a balloon containing a flammable liquid on fire, damaging furniture and carpet. Noah's been charged as an adult with first-degree reckless homicide, and he's been held at the Wisconsin Juvenile Detention Center on a $50,000 bond. He's expected to appear in court on the 7th of December. If convicted, he faces up to 60 years in prison. 27-year-old Molly Krebs is behind bars, and is charged in connection with the death of her 3-year-old son Jaden Krebs. At just after midnight on the 1st of December, authorities responded to 856 Ridgeway Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio, on a report of an unresponsive child. At the scene, officers found the toddler limp and not breathing. He was transported to the Cincinnati hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Upon further investigation, authorities concluded that Molly gave Jaden Benadryl to treat an allergic reaction. She allegedly put her son in a water-filled bathtub, leaving him unattended for more than 90 minutes. According to her attorney, she walked away and dozed off from being at work. When the mother returned to the bathroom to check on him, her son was reportedly laying partially submerged and unresponsive in the water. Officers from the Cincinnati Police Department Homicide Unit, as well as agents from the Fugitive Apprehension Squad, took Molly into custody. According to Nationwide Children's Hospital, one of the main side effects of Benadryl is sedation. This can make children very drowsy, to the point of falling asleep. Molly is charged with involuntary manslaughter and child endangerment, and is held at the Cincinnati jail. She was arraigned in court on the 2nd of December, and her bond was set at $750,000. Molly's attorney said that her child's death was totally accidental, and that he was unsure what a high bond was going to achieve. Jaden's cause of death is pending toxicology and autopsy results. Molly's next court appearance is on the 7th of December. A young beautician posted a chilling video of herself, moments before the small 2-seater plane she was flying in crashed into a high-voltage power cable during a joy flight in Turkey, killing her and the pilot. The woman, identified as 22-year-old Berku Saglam, and the pilot as 54-year-old Hakan Koksal, both died in the crash. A single-engine plane reportedly took off from the Pamukkale, Saqqara province in Turkey at 3:13 p.m. on Thursday the 1st of December. Berku filmed herself enjoying the views from the cockpit of the plane and posted it on Instagram with a caption that ominously read "Bye." Moments later at 3:32 p.m, disaster struck when the plane lost altitude and communication was suddenly lost. The wing of the plane clipped an overhead power line at the Avacha natural gas cycle power plant in Osmagazi in the Bursa province of northwest Turkey before plunging to the ground in a fireball. Immediately, a search and rescue team were dispatched to the scene after workers at the gas plant informed authorities about the crash. The mangled wreckage of the aircraft was soon found in a nearby empty lot, as well as the bodies of Berku and Hakan. It's reported that one of the two died when the plane caught fire, and the other is believed to have been ejected from the aircraft to their death. Berku had told her parents that she was leaving home in search of a job that day, but they weren't aware that she had boarded a flight until they were informed of her death by authorities in the phone call. Berku and Hakan have since been buried in different cemeteries in Bursa. In addition to the grieving parents, Berku, who previously ran a hair salon with a partner, also leaves behind her 2 older sisters and a brother. A 20-year-old woman has been rescued after she was held captive as a sex slave at an Augusta, Georgia home, where she was locked up in a feces-filled dog cage and beaten. 5 people were arrested on Tuesday the 29th of November after a former resident went to the property located at 2234 Nelly Drive to retrieve some of his belongings and discover the terrified victim. It was noted in an incident report that upon entering the room, he observed an unknown light brown-skinned female that was naked, beaten severely and currently locked in a dog cage. One of the residents, 32-year-old Shauna Powell, told the man that the caged woman was her whore. "She stole a bunch of stuff from me, so she's going to be my sex slave, and I'm going to pimp her around until she pays it off," she reportedly said. The man said the terrified victim pleaded him for help. He told police that he overheard someone at the home saying that several people were on their way to have their way with the woman. Deputies went to the property at just after 10:20 p.m. that night and ordered everyone to come out. One of the occupants, 24-year-old DeMichael Dawson, stepped out and told police that there were several people inside, along with 3 pit bulls. When deputies entered, they came across an empty dog cage in the feces-filled home, where they found the victim laying on a bed emotionally distraught with multiple injuries to her face. One of her eyes was severely swollen and bruised. Medics arrived and transported her to a local hospital, and Animal Control also responded and took the dogs. In addition to Shauna and DeMichael, police arrested 29-year-old Angelica Figueroa, 18-year-old Savannah Piazzi, and 19-year-old Dawson Weston. They were all charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm or knife during a commission of a crime. DeMichael was also charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. A California man was arrested after allegedly throwing a Molotov cocktail at police. At around 5:40 p.m. on Wednesday the 30th of November, officers with the Corning Police Department began investigating a loud banging noise that came from outside behind the police department on the 700 block of 4th Street. Authorities said that the suspect, later identified as 32-year-old Cassidy Russ, began fumbling with an item near the front of his waistband. As the officers gave the suspect verbal commands, Cassidy lit a Molotov cocktail and threw it toward police, which missed an officer and exploded near a parked car. Cassidy then led police on a foot chase westbound on Solano Street. An off-duty officer then tackled Cassidy, but he continued to resist arrest by concealing his hands in his waistband and backpack. Officers used baton strikes and pain compliance techniques to subdue him, but he continued to resist arrest, police said. Officers eventually took Cassidy into custody by placing him in handcuffs under sustained resistance. According to authorities, this isn't the first time Cassidy has thrown a Molotov cocktail at police. He had an active arrest warrant for a previous incident in late July, when he threw a Molotov cocktail at marked police cruisers. Cassidy was booked into the Tehama County Jail on several charges, including attempted murder, possession of an explosive device, arson, battery on a peace officer and resisting arrest. The motive in the attacks is unknown. He was formally arraigned in the Tehama County Superior Court on the 2nd of December, and is held without bond. His next court appearance is scheduled for the 6th of December. A young woman suffered an agonizing death after she fell into an industrial potato chipper. The incident occurred in the early morning hours of the 17th of November, when 24-year-old Rafaela Santos was killed in the horrific accident at her workplace in Feces, located in southeastern Brazil. She reportedly fell onto the conveyor belt that carries potatoes to be chopped into chips, and was crushed by the engine mount, suffering devastating head trauma in the crush. Moments before the accident, she was separating potatoes from organic matter on the conveyor belt. The potatoes are turned into frozen chips for supermarkets. A traumatized colleague who stood beside her at the time said the belt was switched off, but suddenly turned itself on, hurtling Rafaela uncontrollably towards the engine mount. Workers responsible for operations at the factory were unable to explain why the machine automatically switched on when it did. Then Brazil Alimentos, the company that hired Rafaela through a third party, expressed regret and announced an investigation into the incident was underway. Rafaela, from Santa Luzia do Itani, had previously trained as a nurse technician before moving to Feces in May. Her devastated mother said she had relocated with her older sister and 2 cousins in search of a better life. Her mother, Carla Alves, said she was going after her future. She was going to go after her dreams, to work in a field and take care of me. Carla added, "Rafaela was my darling. My other daughters were jealous. because we had a very extraordinary connection. She was an affectionate, self-assured girl who loved to dress up, buy shoes, clothes and perfume. Every morning she texted me, "Good morning, my love." "Today I didn't get a good morning," she said.